What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Right now we have a Kershaw. I don't know if it's going to be a layup or a slam dunk, but we'll get into that. But the name of it is the Kershaw Layup. Um, kind of a, I'm really kind of torn between this knife. I'm not going to lie. This is going to be a final review over it though, so let's get into it. This is what, D2 steel, right? Right. Yep. D2 steel. So not bad. Good work steel. Definitely go tear it up a little bit. It's pretty hard stuff. Great ergos. I would say I like the way it feels in hand. Pretty good. Jimping's a little short for me. I feel like it should be go a little farther, but I'm kind of like that with a lot of companies. I feel like the jimping should go a little bit out. But it feels good though. Actually, it's not bad. It feels pretty good like underneath the thumb. So it's a great blade shape though. I like the blade shape. It's a drop point, but it just looks good the way they did it. The little notches out and everything, and the way they kind of cut it and everything. It's a stone wash also. If you didn't notice, nice little stone wash pattern look to it. Let's get that little fuzzy or whatever that crap is. Get off there. Um, it is an in-house design, but it's made in China. Um, and one thing got kind of well. Hold on, we'll get to that. We'll get to the pocket clip first. It is a reversible pocket clip too. I think it's a steel pocket clip. Screws are recessed, but the pocket clip is not. Obviously, that's all right. At least one. They got 1 out of 2. I'm all right with that. You get 50% right there. 50%. Blade looks a hairball to the left, so that's an easy thing. You just fix it up a little bit. I didn't notice that till just now, so that's something you could easily like tighten up a little bit. And I actually just now noticed this also, but there's only one pivot screw. It's not like a pivot cap or anything like that, a pivot over here. It's just a straight screw on this side. So that is also different. The things you notice after a while. Um, so I'm not really big into the assisted knives anymore. And that's one thing that I was kind of thinking when I was doing like the first impressions and all that type of stuff. I felt like that was kind of a turn off to me because I'm not into the assisted knives anymore. I have some. Just from way back in the day, I have a Kershaw Cryo, and I actually really love that thing still. Like, it's still a really good knife. I just had it for like early when I bought it when I deployed to Afghanistan, so that's been about 10, 15 years, right around there, probably 12 years. No, probably 13 years ago. So I bought it there and they shipped it out there, so that's why I always kind of have like a like for it because like Afghanistan deployment, army stuff like that, yada yada yada, sentimental value. But I kind of like it there. I don't know about this just because that was a frame lock, I believe. This is the Durlock. Their Durlock. See what I usually like about the Durlock, like or not the lock, just like crossbar lock in general, stuff like that. I like to pull it and then it just fall down, right? It don't do that because it's assisted. So you're never going to be able to do it. I guess you might be able to do it one-handed. Yeah, okay. So you can do it one-handed. It's just not going to be like a normal crossbar lock. And that's the thing. This is my first Durlock too. Well, no, it's not. I have a Kershaw Iridium. I think that's a Durlock. Yeah, I don't know. I'm crazy. But I just don't like that, how it does that. Like, I want to be able to, even though it takes like an extra 2 seconds, to shut it. I just want it, when I do that, when I pull it back, I want it to drop. You know what I mean? But, and then I started thinking also, like I said, I thought I didn't like it at first, and I kind of started thinking about it. Some people don't always have that finger strength, that strength in their hands and stuff like that to really kind of flip it every different which way. And sometimes that assisted, flipper kind of helps out. So I started thinking about that, and I understand that, sometimes that's just how it is. And so obviously sometimes if they can't, obviously you can use both hands. But so I thought maybe that's what this was kind of built for. It makes sense. Hopefully that's what it's for. Not even hopefully. I think that's a good knife if you have problems with like finger strength, hand strength, stuff like that. I'd like to think it's a good knife for you for that reason. It's just going to help out. You're not going to have problems flicking it open. It's just going to flip open at the slightest little thing. Almost like an OTF, except you got to put a lot of pressure on an OTF kind of. Not necessarily a lot of pressure, but a little bit extra pressure. But this is like it glides open really well. I will say that's very smooth opening. Drop point blade, stone wash blade, D2 steel, Another thing about this, I didn't know what the handle was. I almost thought it was like a G10 or polymer, or not polymer, G10 plasticky thing. It is a polymer handle, so that's the one thing. I was pretty adamant about looking that up because I wanted to know for sure. But it is a polymer handle. Some like texturing right there, so you definitely won't, lose it sweating and stuff like that. But like I said, ergos are great. I'm not gonna lie, it feels good in hand. It feels great in hand. I almost like the way it feels a little bit better than my Iridium. I don't know why, it just kind of does. Maybe it's because I haven't had my Iridium out in a hot minute, but maybe that's why. But it feels really good overall. And this is their first assisted Duralock. It said on the website because I looked it up too because I wanted to know more about that. So it's just kind of an oddball little thing, but it's definitely works. Little blue tab right there too. A little blue tab, not on this side, so you know. That's just part of the assisted part of it. But it definitely flips open well. It feels good. Jimping's not too bad. Reversible or ambidextrous pocket clip, and that's their normal pocket clip now. I like the pocket clip. I think it works pretty great for me. On other knives, yeah, overall that's not a bad pocket clip. Let's get a real quick measurement for you. You have about a 3.25 cutting edge and a overall 7.9. Yeah, 7.9 for the overall length, so it's not too bad. A little bit bigger, which, a lot of people like that. Um, Wait, because it feels like a light guy. Let's get her open. Let's get her on. Let's check it out. Oh, and I'll get to the price here in a second too. So 3.7, so not too shabby, not too bad. And plus, it's a little bit bigger knife, but I guess that's why they also put the polymer on it and stuff like that to help lighten the load. Steel liners in it, not hollowed out or skeletonized or anything like that, nothing like that. So one thing I didn't like is the price is $54.95. So I don't really know how that equates to like someone who wanting to buy it. Like it's not bad if you need that assistance, opening it up, perfect, get it. I like to think it's the way to go for you. If you need a beater, it's definitely a good beater though too. If you want to take it out and like do some carving stuff, and you don't care what your knife's gonna look like later, like I would say this is definitely the one for you. Um, it's just that price. I think the Iridium's like not much more than this. So that's what I was thinking. Like it just depends on what you want, necessarily like exactly what you want. Like if you like the polymer plastic handle, like the polymer handle, this is right up your alley because it's great texturing. It really is nice overall. It does have the blue. I didn't see that till now. Or I didn't say anything till now. Got the blue pivots right there. The pivots. I'm I'm brain I'm I'm brain farting. What the heck? Um, Back spacers, pivot spacers. That's what. There you go. Blue pivot spacers to match the blue right there and the assistance. Durlock. Um, but yeah, like I know the iridium's aluminum too, so it's like yeah, that's gonna scratch up. This is gonna scratch up too. So it depends on what you want your knife to look like, pretty much, and how you want it. So I think the iridium's a little bit more expensive, but it just depends on what your preferences are and what you're wanting though at the time. So if you want this, I'd definitely say go for it. If you have finger problems, stuff like that, and finger strength, hand strength, I would go with this. It's about the best way to go, I think, for you, my opinion, but I ain't no expert. All right, the pivot screw is T8. Everything else is going to be T6 because everything else is smaller. Yeah, so T6 for everything except for the pivot screw. But yeah, that's all I really got on it. If you guys liked the video, leave a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, leave a comment. Thanks.